the body is not the mind, then what is it? What else it is, right? And two kinds of mind. One is awakened mind and one is unawakened mind. Then unawakened mind is like this mind inefficient. It is inefficient by mind because it has inbuilt six emotions, and it's going to it's go on ramming the mind, right? That the six emotions: anger, hatred, jealousy, sexual misconduct, and all the things this says. So these are the six different emotions, and that never allows the mind to rest. And if you somehow eliminate the six emotions, then uh, in once, then the sleeping mind awakes and it becomes awakened mind. An awakened mind doesn't have all these six emotions. Rather, the six emotions get transformed into uh, one of the most brilliant mind. For example, anger get transformed into discriminating awareness, and similarly, all these five other emotions gets transformed into something else completely different than the one we are having. Now, coming to the mind itself, uh, before going into the concept of body, understanding the body and the brain, uh, I request you to see the video till the end, because you are going to experience one of the most mind-boggling thing, right? Uh, about the body, the software on which your mind is working, and it is working for day in and day out for decades and decades. And for some, the mind runs the body for 80 years, 100 years, and it goes on torturing the body. And ultimately, the body gets fatigued and diseased, and ultimately, it disintegrates, right? So, coming to the mind, understanding the brain in the body, you cannot say the brain, the body, and the brain is the body, mind, because suppose I'm alive right now and I am moving, and a dead man body, if it is lying somewhere, if you touch it, nothing happens. So the neurologist concept that it is the brain that creates a sensation, and it is called mind. But then, if it is true, then who caused the movement? Who caused the movement, right? Because without movement, there won't be life. So all the messages in one of my previous uh, 3 minutes video, I discussed about sensation, perception, and the perspective. The sensation is what movement induce electrical impulses in our system, and it is called sensation. And once brain recognize the movement and recognize the pattern based on pattern recognition and identifies the object, it is called perception. Now, the body in the brain, without movement, there is no life. So in human body, top to bottom, there are three kind of movement. Three kind of movement I could think. If you can think some one more variables, please add your comment in the description. So one is very subtle, where we conscious mind doesn't get the glimpse of this movement. It's very subtle, and this includes gut movement, kidney filters, all the excretion, waste products in produce urine, gut movement, heart pumping, breathing. These are a kind of very subtle movement. It just moves without that awareness. It moves without any stop for almost 100 years, right? Above this second kind of movement is skeletal movement. Skeletal movement, where we just randomly moves around without much purpose. And the third kind of movement is we deliberately move, right? That kind of movement is like skillful movement, where we learn something and we deliberately act like earning a living kind of thing. So there are three kind of movement. So first kind of movement we can't recognize. Second kind of movement, we just randomly moves our limbs. moves. We see around, we hear things, we eat food, we sense smell, we see around things, right? These are the second kind of movement. The third kind of movement is we deliberately force our movement. We force our movement. We get trained doing something. These are the three kind of movement we see. So now, to understand the brain, right, where all this signal goes, then we need to understand the whole central nervous system mapped in our body. For example, a spinal cord controls has a represent yeah, kind of beyond neck. Beyond neck, there is a spinal cord. Spinal cord regulates all the thing. Like, this is not regulation, but then message is like goes through the spinal cord, right? Then chest level is like medulla oblongata, because spinal cord ends at medulla oblongata. Beyond medulla oblongata, there is midbrain, brainstem, midbrain. Midbrain level, all the cranial nerves, cranial nerve goes. Brainstem, all the cranial nerves goes, and beyond this, beyond midbrain, there is limbic system. That kind limbic means like border, and then beyond the limbic system, there is the actual cerebral cortex. Cortex is like bark, okay? Bark, and if you imagine, it's like a bark is like a gray matter. The cortex is all gray matter, and it's a world of white and grays. There's no colors in it. So where's colors in the light, right? Light in the environment. Within the brain, there is all gray and whites, gray matter and white matter. So if you see the body, voluntarily we move the leg, other limbs in the body. Beyond it, there's no movement, right? And in neck region, we maximum we move the tongue and the eyes. Jaw, tongue, and the eyes. Three organs move maximum in the face region. So all this movement goes to the brain, right? So the lower limb and these hand movements and the shoulder movements all are regulated in the cerebellum. That is beyond like a bunch of neuron, like a lobe, one lobe that exists on the back side of the brain. And chest and heart and the gut, that goes to the medulla oblongata, right? And it is kind of survival brain that mostly involved in the survival. We are, up to this point, we are only one variable we are discussing, that is movement. Only movement, okay? Now next, now if we think about head, okay, the eyes goes to the sense of smell directly goes to the frontal lobe, okay, forebrain. The eye goes to the pons, and this all the facial expression, then facial expression, hearing, this time, jaw movement, and all the thing goes to the this medulla, okay. Then hypoglossal nerve, this tongue movement and all that goes to again brainstem. So all the movement of the face goes at the level of pons and medulla. So if we say that in frontal lobe, except the sense of smell, nothing goes into the frontal lobe. The eye goes beyond it, below it, then below the medulla, pons, medulla, and all the movements happens here. Now, okay, obviously, whenever we move, we get emotion, and we have to understand. We have to keep the memory of the movement. At the same time, emotions of the situations, that is being regulated by amygdala, and all the movements are registered in memory, registered in the hippocampus. There is another like part of limbic system, and all the seeing, that height is also a movement. When the child is very small, then it becomes very tall, right? That is controlled by pituitary gland. In movement, obviously, a body doesn't move constantly 24 hours. For some time, for some after some time, it takes rest, and this part is controlled by pineal gland. Then obviously all these movement, they are like not unintentional. That is, that has to be like deliberate and precision. That has to be there. It is controlled by basal ganglia. There's a kind of many neurons that regulates the movement, intention, and all the thing. Then finally, there is one more variable that is called movement within the body. In science we call it entropy. Entropy detects degree of randomness, how fast the molecules is moving. That is being controlled by hypothalamus. If the temperature of the body goes up, then hypothalamus regulates it. If it goes down, then again it regulates it. There is food and hunger and all the thing that is controlled by hypothalamus. Now what? Up to this point, all the things are being handled by up to basal ganglia. Then beyond basal ganglia, there is a frontal lobe. In frontal lobe, there is 4 lobes. Prefrontal, prefrontal lobe. There is somatosensory cortex, where all the body is mapped. Temporal lobe, all the hearing and all the thing is pattern recognition happens. In the occipital lobe, all the sensation of the this visual perception, visual depth sensation, there happens in the occipital lobe. And the speech is also speech center is like temporal lobe, and there is 2, one on the right side, one on the left side, and the two-way communication happens through the corpus callosum. And whole brain, obviously, if the brain is working so much, billions times than the body, obviously it must be excreting lots of waste products, right? That is being done by cerebrospinal fluid. Okay, the one, and there are total four there is like from top to bottom there are many ventricles in it. So this is how brain works. So now you see, if you don't move, obviously this part of the brain won't get activated, and if you move, then this part of the brains and all the things will get activated, and obviously your brain works. Then if that works, then another kind of mind will get activated. Then you will have a desire. That's why all these meditators say sit still, don't do anything, and realize that you are not it. Right now, we up to this point we have discussed that all the body's sensation goes where, what regulates the brain, what regulates the body, and how things are get identified. But then let's now subtract all the this messaging system, right? Suppose if we remove legs, one leg, suppose polio, that person becomes very cunning. You must have seen there is also saying in the all these ancient people, if there is a limp people in a village, then it becomes very like difficult to control. It infects the mind of the people. Now this is leg. If we suppose what I'm saying is like Stephen Hawking, all the sensations of the body up to the neck, he was not receiving any sensation, so his brain just merged into the universe mind, and he could gaze into the depth of the cosmos and concept of time and black hole and all the things, and theory of everything. He proposed the concept, and world gets another kind of thinking, right? Thinking barrier. Albert Einstein, mostly what I think is like, this is my perspective, that he used to imagine he is traveling on a ray of light and reaching to the sun. and after death his whole brain was studied, and people have secretly preserved his brain up to this now, but then nobody found out any mysterious thing in his brain except that he has a his brain sulci and gara was like deep, and then there is hippocampus was like bigger as compared to the other part of brain, if I'm not wrong. Now, not only that, many of the authors are blind. See, uh, Homer. People say that Homer was blind because he describes sea as a red like wine, and sheep are like purple, purple wood, red wool, all the things. But nobody knows because nobody has documented. Surdas was blind, but then he could see all the childhood of Lord Krishna in so beautifully described. Milton, the one who wrote Lost Paradise. He was also like uh, uh, he's he was like blind. He lost his vision, right? While writing this, then his uh, literature resists the he disappeared with the time, right? Then there is another fellow, what else, this Beethoven. Beethoven was a deaf, but then he composed one of the most brilliant music of all time. See, when these people, the sensory input was not coming, then the brain RAM gets freed, right? And then they could probably they could understand more than the normal people, right? And you might have seen all these people says the deaf, dumb people are very intelligent. They can sense many things. Yes, this is how it is. Thank you for your kind attention.